So the question everyone wants to know is, what is the best platform to get clients on in 2025? And if I had to start again with no clients, no outreach experience, no personal brand, here are the platforms that I would be putting most of my effort into in terms of building a brand, doing my outreach to get as many clients as easily as possible, which is what I want for each and every one of you watching this video right now, because you are all legends and I appreciate you watching my video, so I'm going to give back as much as I can for free. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Charlie. I've been in the game for 2 years, made close to 7 figures online at 20 through different offers, agency model, coaching model, low ticket, high ticket. I've tried pretty much every business model you can think of. So unless you want to waste months and months of your life, I suggest you just watch this quick 10-minute video so you know exactly where to put your effort into going into 2025. And this is all data backed. This is just off my data and the people that I speak to, right, who are succeeding, meaning my network. And you can apply this quote for yourself after watching this. So a smart man learns from his own mistakes, which is good. It's better than not learning from your own mistakes. But a wiser man or a smarter man learns from the mistakes of others. So you don't have to go through the same pain and suffering. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. We're going to dive straight into it. And just in case you have no idea what a funnel is, because I'll be referencing it throughout, filling out this tier list. So I want you to understand this if you are a beginner. Top of funnel is how people find you. So how strangers literally find you and become aware about you. Middle of the funnel is typically how they like, know, and trust you, right? And then bottom of the funnel is how they buy from you. So it could be a demo call, as you can see right here. It could be a free trial. It could be a sale. You get the point, right? But it's important you understand your funnel, which you can design after this once you know the best platforms to have in your funnel. So let's start right at the left side, which is going to be Facebook. Now, one thing I want to mention is I'm going to be explaining my thought process behind each decision I make, because I don't want you to not know why I'm putting it into a certain tier list. And I think if you get a mentor, you get a coach, the most valuable thing that they can do is actually explain why they are telling you to do something, right? Explaining their thought process is way more valuable than them just giving you something to do and then you copy and paste from it. So let's dive into it. For Facebook, obviously there's multiple depths on each platform. Most people try Facebook DMs and then switch to like TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Without fully maxing out each depth of the platform, right? You've got ads, you've got commenting on people's Facebook posts, you've got posting yourself on Facebook, you've got going live on Facebook, you've got outbound on Facebook. There are so, people don't understand, especially beginners, like how much time you need to spend on your top of funnel platform to really become great at it. But for Facebook, I'm just going to put it into B tier to start with, and now I'm going to explain why. So for me personally, I work with people under 40 years old typically, right? Sometimes they're older than 40, but I've just found that getting their personal Facebook isn't the easiest thing to do. People, I think the number one thing that I'd be doing if I were to do Facebook outbound or trying to get clients on Facebook, it would be to post into groups and comment on other people's posts, right? And then every like you get, you can then just do outreach to them, right? So you're basically commenting on people's posts in their groups, providing value, and then you're reaching out to them. And that is actually a really effective way. I know Hormozi talked about that recently in one of his pods. But it seems to be working a lot for beginners. So you could potentially put this in A tier if you really wanted to. But let's just put it in B tier because it's not like if you're a beginner, you can't just start running ads. You can't start doing other things. But I think going live on Facebook, doing what I just mentioned about commenting on people's posts, posting into groups, and then reaching out is an amazing thing that can get you clients pretty easily. We had Sean get a client within 12 hours of joining my community through our Facebook groups method. So it does work. It's just not as effective as the ones which we're going to talk to in a second. So YouTube, 100%, no doubt, YouTube is by far S tier, which is the best tier you can get. Now, it's not the only S tier, right? There is another social media that I'm going to put up here in a second, which is gonna maybe shock you. But the reason YouTube is so great is because not only is it targeting problem aware people, meaning people are searching for solutions on YouTube, and then if your video pops up, it's the easiest traffic to convert because they're already problem aware, right? So they're starting down here basically. So YouTube is insanely overpowered for brand awareness and just putting yourself out there. However, the only downside I'd say to YouTube would be that you can't really convert that well compared to another platform that I'm going to put up here. Like the conversion mechanisms of it, like you can't DM your subscribers, you can't do all of these things. So yeah, maybe it's like in the middle, but I personally think it's king for a reason. That's why I post so consistently on it, and I think everyone should be doing it. If you look at the biggest agency owners in the world, Sabri Subi, you've got other people as well. They are all educators. You need to be educating, right? You can, do podcasts of people in your niche and post it onto YouTube. There's so many different variations you can do, but it's great for getting awareness, and then also you can get more clients through YouTube, right? But what people don't tell you is that the clients you do get are going to be so much better than if they came from like cold calling, which we'll get to in a second. So that's another factor which I didn't really take into consideration, and it can become way too complicated with too many variables, but you get the point, right? If you get a client through YouTube, they are actually going to want to work with you and make it work, right? Compared to like calling, maybe they're not in that position. So I think YouTube's by far one of the best. Emails, let's just swiftly move on. I think for beginners, I wouldn't actually go and do emails. Like I just wouldn't do it in my personal experience, just because there's too many pieces that need to go together if you are a beginner, right? You need to set up the correct DNS records, so DMARC, SPF, DKIM, CNAME, all of these technical records that can be confusing if you're a complete beginner. You also need to warm it up on Instantly or SmartLead, so it can cost quite a bit. You then obviously need to send emails, and even if you get good deliverability, you probably won't get good lead quality, right? And therefore your open rate will lower, you won't get many appointments. So I think emails aren't the best. However, if you post on YouTube and you provide free value and you provide free lead magnets, I think emails can be if it's a newsletter, right? But if it's cold email, I'd be putting it probably C or D, maybe in the middle. So hopefully that makes sense. If it's a warm email, so let's say you do outreach on Instagram, right? And you offer them something for free, you collect their email, phone number, and then you put them into a drip campaign. That would be looking at like a B to A tier. But if you're just doing cold emails, I would honestly put it down here actually. So it really depends. I'll just put it in the middle like here, because some of you are doing warm emails, some of you are doing cold emails, but warm emails are actually really good, right? One of the most overpowered marketing strategies. I think for every dollar you spend on like a newsletter, you make $36 back. So I would actually put it way above that, but you can't like get new opt-ins directly through emails. So it's not like S tier, like you can't put it as the best. Now Instagram, here's the one that's going to shock you. I actually think it's S tier. Now the reason for that is that you can have 1,000 followers on Instagram. You can go live multiple times per day. You can get people to DM you with automation. So, it triggers a keyword and then it responds. You can do comment below and, you'll send them a free asset. There are so many mechanisms to get people to convert through Instagram. It's crazy. Obviously, you've got the boring outbound DMs, but you can follow them. You can comment under your prospects' posts. You can do story replies as follow-ups. There are so many different depths to this platform. That's why I'm putting it as S tier. And what you find is that, like for me, I get a bunch of traffic, probably 100,000 views in terms of business owners every month through YouTube, but most of them convert through Instagram and emails, right? I just couldn't put emails up here because most of you are doing cold emails, but if you weren't, then I'd put it a bit higher. But hopefully that makes sense, that most people get funneled from my YouTube to my Instagram and then they buy through my stories, or they buy through my link in there, or they DM me a keyword. So that's why I think Instagram is so great, just because you can leverage the max out of it in terms of conversions. You can do the same with Facebook, but I just think not many business owners go on there to like invest, if you know what I mean. But just a quick tip, like I bought something, just for context, right? I have a software and I paid a developer who sent me a cold email, and the reason I bought the $1,500 and then I pay him now like 1K a month pretty much on a rev share model. But the reason I actually bought was because he had a YouTube. So he was a developer who pitched me like a SaaS idea, right? And I eventually paid him to implement it. But the only reason I paid him is because I clicked on the YouTube link he put in his email and I saw he had like 50,000 subscribers or something. So it had insane social proof. And we live in a trust crisis where you have to have content nowadays. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of why I put these two as S tier, this one on Facebook, and then this one, it's kind of in the middle. Now, Twitter. I'll be honest, I haven't used Twitter too much before. I know a lot of people make money with it in ecom, other sort of niches. I just don't think. Once again, it's kind of good like Instagram. You can do a lot of conversion mechanisms. You can DM to close people. So I think, yeah, it could be a decent platform. However, I just haven't tested it enough. But I would probably put it B tier or maybe C tier. I think it's great for like a content flow system where you can quickly tweet an idea that comes to your brain about like what you want to do, and then just like every day just look through your tweets and create your other types of content, YouTube content, Instagram content, things like that. So I think it's great for flow, but I mean, I wouldn't probably have it as your top of funnel, although maybe some people do. Now cold calling, this is probably A or S tier. The only reason I wouldn't put it S tier is because it takes time, but it is by far the most effective appointment setting strategy if you need appointments, right? I would highly recommend everyone especially if you're working with local businesses, you could argue that this would be S tier, right? Local businesses, this would be S tier. However, let's just put it as A tier to, make it easy, because obviously some of you are working with like online coaches, consultants, things like that. So obviously you can't call everyone. However, I would say a combination of like the Facebook and calling could be a good strategy. Let's say you're targeting car detailers, you would ideally message the owner, and if he responds to your like closed or open question, just asking a question about their business, you can then just call them up and be like, hey, it's Charlie, we spoke on Facebook. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your business or something? But I think the hybrid method is really powerful if you combine these two. And that's what I mean. It can get very confusing very quickly. But let's quickly move on because there's not too much time left. TikTok and LinkedIn are left. TikTok, I've got to put it as F. I'm sorry, and I'll explain why. LinkedIn, I'm going to put it as C or D. I'm going to put it in the middle. And let me go through this, right? Because I know that's going to trigger some people. So TikTok being F. I mean, if you're doing like TikTok shop, it's a different story. But 99% of you watching this are selling B2B, right? And unless your ideal clients are just doom scrolling on TikTok, which you probably wouldn't want them as clients anyway if they're just like scrolling endlessly, right? So that's one reason, is you attract bad clients. Another one is like, think about how much trust you'll have to build to get the same as like a YouTube video. So let's say you post like a 30-second TikTok and you post a 10-minute YouTube video. You get the point, right? It's crazy. Like that's 20 times more nurturing you'll get from a YouTube video. And it probably takes the same amount of effort as well. So that's why I've put this in F tier. I think one thing that is criminally underrated is live streams on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, to be honest, and YouTube, I guess, live streams in general. But we used to do TikTok live streams and book like one appointment per day. So I guess that does work. But that's why I put it in F, just because, not the best ideal clients on there. And for the other reason I explained as well. Now, LinkedIn, the reason I put it there is because it's capped in terms of like how many messages you can send. Even with Sales Navigator, I think it's 25, so it's not the best. And I found LinkedIn's much better for like recruiting rather than like client acquisition. So I think, there's definitely a use for LinkedIn, but what I've seen is most people get clients through brand building on LinkedIn. So I think that's definitely the move to go, like connect with your niche, post valuable content, and then maybe reach out to all engaged people who like your content. Same with Instagram, to be honest, and X and all these platforms. Now, the key thing I wanted to mention to really give you value is like, please only focus on like one or two of these platforms. So like, just for context, my top of funnel is YouTube. My middle of the funnel is like YouTube and Instagram probably. And then my bottom of the funnel is email and Instagram, right? That's my current funnel. So top of funnel, how I get views, YouTube mainly, like that's how 99% of people find me. Middle of the funnel, how they like, know, and trust me, YouTube and maybe Instagram through my stories. I post different stuff. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. And then bottom of the funnel is I convert through Instagram and emails as well. And I think that is by far the most effective platforms going into 2025. So I've just exposed my funnel, but it's all in good cause because I love every one of you. Now, if you want to get good at YouTube, because as I mentioned, it's S tier for a reason, I'm going to be hosting a completely free live masterclass November 3rd. If you're watching this after November 3rd, don't worry. I don't know. There'll probably be another one, but maybe not, because this one's going to be crazy. So you can register below. Spots are limited because Zoom can actually only take on so many people. So secure your spot. It's completely free. And I'm going to be showing you how to get insanely good at YouTube to get more clients than you could possibly handle. So yeah, register below, subscribe if you haven't already, because a lot of you aren't subscribed and I don't want you to miss future videos. Drop a like, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care and have an amazing day.